All right, well, I have had another request for another video to talk to you a little bit about some of the assignments that are coming up. So the first one that I'm making here is for the quantitative qualitative critique. Okay, so from your syllabus on page 4, it gives you a little bit of a description, so you could start there when you're starting to figure out what you're doing. It tells you there to identify a topic of interest that you're interested in. Well, you've already hopefully done that. And so you've already started your literature review. And so what I would recommend is to use an article that maybe you are reading for your literature review, or 2 articles that you are reading for your literature review anyway, that you could then incorporate into that literature review as needed. But it doesn't have to be the same topic. If you're having a hard time finding articles on that topic, feel free to choose anything else. It doesn't have to be. But sometimes students find it easier if they're reading the articles for whatever reason that it's going to go towards 2 different assignments. Okay? So what you have to do is you find one article that describes a quantitative research study. Remember, the quantitative meaning that it's used numbers, statistics, it's focusing on that kind of thing. And then you will also find an article that describes a qualitative design. Remember, a qualitative design is something that is interested in understanding the meaning behind something. So you're not going to see a lot of statistics or numbers, probably not even very large samples. These are the ones where they're looking for themes or concepts or those kinds of things. So you'll have 2 articles total for this assignment, 1 quantitative, 1 qualitative. You'll read both of those articles and you're going to critique each one, and you're going to write up a paper in which you can critique these articles. Okay, so you're going to summarize the main purpose of each study. You're going to talk to me about the key findings. You're going to talk to me about the methods that they used. Their sample. Did they do interviews or observations, or did they have them complete an questionnaire, or was it an experiment? And if so, how was that conducted? So a summary of the study, the key findings of that study, and then I want you to talk about the strengths of the study as well as the limitations of the study. Now, as you've probably figured out, most articles will include a limitations section. And it's fine if you use some of the limitations cited by the authors. Just make sure that you give them credit for that. Cite that. According to the authors, a limitation of this study was. And then your citation. And then, after you're finished describing and critiquing each individual article that you've chosen, you are going to conclude with a discussion of both the merits, the strengths of each type of methodology, as well as the limitations of each. So what are the strengths or the merits for a quantitative design? What are the strengths or the merits of qualitative designs? What are the limitations of each? What kinds of questions can you answer with each, and what kinds of questions can't you answer with each? And that is worth 100 points. Again, grammar, APA, very important to your grade. If you know that you have some issues with getting things grammatically correct, go to the right site. Get help. Let them talk with you and work through helping you, because not only do they help you figure out where the errors are in your paper, they also sort of guide you to be able to find them for yourself in the future and to prevent yourself from making those same mistakes again. So it's a learning opportunity as well as an opportunity for some help with that editing piece. So APA manual is the next thing. Stare and compare. Hold those references and those citations up next to the APA manual. Do yours look like they do in the book? If they don't, yours are wrong, and just fix them. That's one of the easiest things to fix in terms of common errors that I see in these kinds of papers. So remember, 2 articles, 1 quantitative, 1 qualitative. Describe for me both of those studies. You can do them as if it was 2 different papers too, if you'd like. What I'll do is, I have another class I teach that they do a quantitative critique and a qualitative critique. They do them as separate assignments. And so what I can do is I can post some of those as examples of how to critique an article, but I want you to remember that when you look at those, they are not the same kind of assignment you are doing. They are a totally different assignment. They're just examples of how other students who've done well in critiquing articles. But there's lots of sources out there to help you figure out the best way to critique a study. And so I'll try to, identify some of those for you as well. So I hope that helps. I hope that lets you kind of know what the expectation is for that assignment that's due. And if you have any questions, of course, send me an email, or if you think it's a question that would benefit the whole class, post it on the Q&A board with the instructor. And be sure that you go back and check those, even if you don't necessarily have a question. You can go look and see what other people have asked, and sometimes that will jog a new question for you, or it will answer something you didn't even know you were wondering about. So good luck to you on that assignment. Let me know if you have any questions.